So it's been a while, but today I'm doing your weekly, bi-weekly, or maybe even a 3-week recap at this point. And that's because the holidays were absolutely crazy, and I thought I'd rather focus on my family than focus on getting content out as soon as possible when I haven't done as much research as I normally do. Plus, this recap isn't happening on a weekend because my editor is one of the biggest NFL fans of all time, and I didn't want to make him edit videos on the weekend when he'd rather be watching football. So here it is, in the middle of the week. I do think we'll be moving back to our regular weekly recaps, assuming that that's what you guys want. But I gotta be honest, some weeks there isn't that much interesting information to update you guys on. So if you're more interested in a bi-weekly recap, then let me know in the comment section below, because I'm gonna let you guys decide this based on what the majority of the comment section says. So first off, the Thunder are easily the class of the Western Conference, as they have a massive lead in the standings over the rest of the pack. It's been a team effort, but first and foremost, you gotta give credit to their superstar, Gilgeous-Alexander, who played beautifully in recent wins over the Knicks and over the defending champion Boston Celtics. This has led to the first major shakeup in NBA.com's MVP power rankings, as SGA has officially taken the lead over Nikola Jokic as the favorite to win the award. It's gotta be of the slightest of margins, as the Nuggets are also playing very well at the moment, and Jokic's averages on the season are still insanely goofy. When you look at their individual production side by side, it's not even all that close. But apparently, the voters are starting to lean in favor of the guy with a stronger winning record. And who knows, maybe voter fatigue is playing a role in this race as well. Speaking of Jokic and the Nuggets, things are getting really interesting out in Denver. The biggest development is the play of Russell Westbrook. He was officially moved into the starting lineup in late December, and especially of late, he's been killing it with his increase in opportunities. Over the last handful of games, he's been a beast, putting up some of the numbers that we were accustomed to when he was in his prime. Now, Jamal Murray's value as the second star in Denver has always been a topic for contentious debate, but now that conversation is heating up to an all-time high, as many people are starting to believe that Russell Westbrook should be the next go-to guy after Jokic. So Nuggets fans, I gotta ask you, how are you feeling about the situation? Is it time for Murray to take a back seat to Westbrook? Let me know below. Regardless of the answer, I just know I'm happy to see that someone has finally stepped up, and Jokic is starting to get the help that he needs. Out in the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers seem to be the real deal. They had an epic matchup with the Oklahoma City Thunder and snapped their 15-game winning streak with a final score of 129-122. The victory gave them a 32-4 start to the season, which led this guy on X to ask the question if this was the worst team to ever have this hot of a start, which then led to him getting roasted in the comments. The thing is, this wasn't actually a bad question at all, because only 4 teams have ever had a better start to the season than these Cavs. They were the 2016 Warriors, who famously went 73-9 and made it all the way to the NBA Finals. Then the 1967 Philadelphia 76ers, who won the NBA championship with Wilt Chamberlain leading the way. Then the 1972 Lakers, who won 33 straight regular season games and the NBA championship with Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West leading the way. And then the 95-96 Chicago Bulls, who had a 72-10 record with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman. So basically, unless the Cavaliers win the championship this year, then they will easily be seen as the worst team to ever get off to this great of a start. Time will tell if that actually happens. Things continue to get uglier and uglier between Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat, as he is apparently adopting the James Harden method, and is becoming such a locker room basket case that he's essentially forcing the organization to trade him. Now he is reportedly skipping team shoot-arounds and is requesting to fly on private planes away from his teammates. Personally, I would be very careful if I was Jimmy, because he's 35 years old and his production has been declining over the last few years. You can get away with these kind of antics when you're a 25-year-old superstar, but when you're 35, you might be digging your own basketball grave, which is essentially a premature retirement, as general managers start thinking that you're a bigger problem than you're worth. After a 27-game absence, Zion Williamson finally made his return to the court against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it was an exciting return to say the least, as he dropped an efficient 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists in only 28 minutes of action. The play of the night was easily this 360 windmill dunk. Ultimately, they lost the game, as their ugly regular season only continues to get uglier. The excitement of Zion's comeback was quickly undercut by a suspension from his own team, as he was reportedly late to their team flight to Philadelphia. It's like every time something exciting happens with this guy, something equally disappointing follows it up and ruins the fun. It's hard to believe that he's only 24 years old, so there's still time for him to right the ship. But with his injury concerns, with his eating habits, and with his work ethic questions, this guy continues to be in danger of becoming one of the greatest what-ifs in NBA history. Victor Wembanyama continues to take the league by storm. On the year, he's averaging 25 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks in only 33 minutes per game. His incredible individual performance has moved him up to the 4th spot of the MVP power rankings. And again, this is a 21-year-old in his sophomore season. His Spurs are still floating around a 500 record, and are currently well outside of the playoff picture. But if they're already ranking him 4th in the MVP race in spite of that, then I think it's fair to assume that this guy is going to start dominating the MVP award as soon as his team is good enough to be a top-seeded squad. Remember how the Kings went on a 5-game losing streak and then fired Mike Brown, and then the coaches all around the league started calling out Kings management for making a quote mistake? Well, right now, everyone is looking dumb except for the Kings management. The Kings are now on a massive winning streak under their new head coach, Doug Christie, and that's regardless of the fact that De'Aaron Fox missed 3 of those games with an injury. That streak included victories over the Mavericks, the Warriors, the Grizzlies, and the defending champion Boston Celtics. Major credit goes to Domantas Sabonis. He had a monstrous triple-double against the Miami Heat. Then in the next game, he dropped 23 points and 28 rebounds against the Boston Celtics. And then after that, he had 22, 15, and 8 against the Chicago Bulls. Making the playoffs is going to be tough out west. But the good news is that the team is already looking like a completely different squad than the team they were in December. Here is a look at the current NBA standings. And here is a look at the latest MVP power rankings according to NBA.com. So what stood out to you in the last couple weeks of the NBA? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.